Jan Stowe come to you as a homeowner in Senecaville and a family who respects fresh water and the beauty of the lake and its community. And I want to keep it that way for my daughter and granddaughter who have memories here that will live on forever. As for me, I have been in the steel industry my entire career and certainly deeply understand the delicate balance between industry, business, environment, and community. From my professional experience running companies, the approach your organization uses to conduct business is deplorable. It is not best practices, and it is not open to the public, although you have, as advertised, public meetings. Misleading stakeholders and constituents has created big problems for organizations, and no one is too big to fail while employing such tactics. Your people in the MWCD who provide information for the board are either not sharing the whole risk-reward analysis of what you or they plan to do, or you have already made the decision to sell water. If you rubber stamp their recommendations, I want each of you to know that you will be held personally accountable for the negative impacts. You are making decisions that will permanently impact the Muskingum watershed region and beyond, putting local citizens and homeowners at health risk. You are taking a very risky partnership here with the gas industry. Defying the laws of nature if you proceed with the decision to move forward on the water sales and allow leasing to take place around and under the public reservoir. All of you that represented MWCD at the public meeting in Senecaville on October 17, 2012, including the board, will be held accountable. After all, you approved the decision. I've been in heavy industry my entire career, and safety and environmental protection of employees and community in which you operate is your first responsibility. In this risky shale play business of fracking, you as a board are responsible whether you pollute and injure people and the environment, or whether your good neighbor fracker does. You're both partners in the dirty deeds. One would think you would know this after the Deep Horizon oil spill in the Gulf and industry violations and contamination in Ohio and other states.
You're coming up on your time.
So why would you cut me off? Why would you allow fracking in public lands, destroying water into perpetuity, causing toxic waste to an aquifer in an injection well? Why at these public meetings and board meetings you do not acknowledge the risk? Your meetings are just complying with regulations, not to involve the public or to consider well-researched and reasoned pleas. One more paragraph, please, if I can go on for the board.
One more paragraph.
Thank you, gentlemen. Do you think Ohio is any different from other states where the problems with fracking have already become known? There are many scientific and medical research and case histories that have already been published documenting these risks. So why are you not reviewing that? I ask if your team, as well as the board, ignore the facts, what else might you be hiding from the MWCD taxpayers? If I was on the board, and I've been on several boards in industry, I would ask the following questions, such as, why the oil and gas industry gets a free pass? Why should important environmental regulations be exempted when no other industry in the country gets this kind of treatment? It is remarkable the lack of environmental stewardship and fiduciary responsibility to protect the watershed and its taxpayers with the gross consumption of water and permanent contamination that results from the hydraulic fracturing process. Why are you being a good neighbor to the gas industry but not to us? There's serious environmental risk to air and water quality have not been assessed. To ignore the well-informed pleas.
We have a huge agenda here. You were going to deliver one more paragraph.
And it is. And
no, I'm sorry. Thank you for your comment.
Well, and I hope you read the rest of the story.
Thanks.
You gentlemen are coming upon one of the biggest decisions you're going to have in your life, and you'll live with it. Thank you for your time.
Chicago side.
Next is Peter Nera.
Listen to this guy. Josh.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for the time. My name is Dr. Peter Nera, and
Josh and I were supposed to speak. He just said there's one speaker.
a little bit different group, I believe, at this point. I am representing a significant number of people from the Seneca Lake area that are leasees. My family's been a long time leasee there since 1963. There are about 1,200 leasees per se, and you'll be hearing and seeing from a bunch of them eventually. We provide you with a significant income, approximately $3 to $4 million possibly, depending on if you're lakefront or not. And we represent a pretty sophisticated group, highly professional and of capable means. We can be a significant partner in this process, or we can be a worst enemy. We hope the former would be the case. I'm presenting to you very briefly. We'll be presenting separately, under separate cover, a very big concern on gross mismanagement the WMCD has done regarding siltation issues, how those lakes have been managed, significantly impacting potential legal and negligence issues. That's separate cover. What I'm here today is to share with you some very disturbing early and preliminary data that I've put together. I'm a professionally trained biomedical scientist and healthcare scientist. I'm CEO and president of biotechnology. I was former lead section chief of the National Cancer Institute in Bethesda, Maryland. I sit on the National Academy of Sciences review committees for health and impact, and on the Institute of Medicine. I'm very interested. I'm driven here and taking my time from Maryland. Grew up in Cleveland, and we are continuing and hope to continue a long, long, prosperous relationship and the lake. But this is at a very critical turning point. I will leave you with some information which is very disturbing for me. I am doing a look-back analysis, which is what is considered an early epidemiological linking study. As far as I know, none of these have been done. I participated in a number of these in my years, particularly in Maryland and others. And the data that we have initially here is very disturbing. It has a high chi-squared value of 0.001. And what I'm saying is that, gentlemen, make sure if you don't look at anything else, that you look at this data. This data is a comparison of the injection site wells, all of them, all the classes outlined in the state of Ohio, and the overlaid annual incidences per 100,000 of all cancers and subsets of cancers which are extremely related to the ingestion on private wells of contaminated water. It's a very, very strong correlation. None of this data, I believe, has been put together. What we will be asking for is for a very thorough analysis. We'll have to go on down to private wells, aquifers, related to these injection sites. It's very disturbing. If you have children and grandchildren living in Ohio, you make sure you take a look at this map. This is a big concern, gentlemen. And so I'll submit all of this data, and we'll be following up with you. I look forward to hopefully working with you. Thank you very much. Also, I'm data intense for you guys. I will have provided to you, my colleagues at Cornell, state of New York, as you well know, is a model on a lot of this, and of course, you know, Governor Cuomo and how that model has gone forward. I suggest you strongly look at that. The fact that you gentlemen, and we are second or third generation now in making these decisions, we all are less likely to say, hey, we didn't know any better. We now know better already. That information was coming. I provided with you. You heard the woman's very personal testimony. There is already quite a bit of look back and evidence going on now from the impacts of gas building in both human and animal sentinel studies that the Cornell University Veterinary College of Medicine and the Will College of Medicine have done. The data and look backs are very strong. We cannot ignore these any longer. Those are all provided for the board. I look forward to comments. My information for contact is there. I have also requested to one of the vacancies that you guys have to provide mine. So, and there, I just want that board to know. But I'm very much interested in occupying a position to help you guys.
Next is Wayne Baer.
My name is Elaine Bear. I'm a resident of Mansfield in Ohio and living within the Muscatine watershed. heard a lot of testimony today and in recent months about the risks associated with fracking that you're allowing in the watershed, so I won't repeat those arguments. Today, instead, I'd like to specifically challenge your justification for selling water to the drilling companies. Various MWCD officials have gone on record as saying that water sales are justified as a means of conservation. The argument being that selling water to the drillers from the deeper waters of the reservoirs will help lessen impact to the watershed's streams. Since drillers might otherwise be tempted to purchase and withdraw water from more ecologically sensitive creeks, streams, or rivers in the watershed. But I think that argument makes little sense if the MWCD board is going to continue to lease watershed land to the drillers, since leasing the land is what brings the drillers into the watershed in the first place. But more importantly, if preventing water from being taken from the streams is your intent, then it only makes sense as a valid argument if you from now on cease charging any fee to the drilling companies for water offered to them from the reservoirs. I say this because your charging any fee at all would obviously risk that the drillers could either find a landowner willing to offer them a lesser rate to remove water from a stream on their property, or that the drillers would simply withdraw water at no cost whatsoever from the nearest publicly accessible stream. So if you truly intend to protect our watershed streams, then we should expect from this day forward that all reservoir withdrawals permitted by the MWCD board should be free to the drillers, in order to ensure that they won't decide to take water for free from a watershed creek, stream, or river. Also, since you stated that you are seriously concerned about unmonitored water withdrawals from the streams in the watershed, I believe it is necessary for you to take a leadership role in pressing for state legislation to rectify the current problem of unmonitored withdrawals. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Melanie. Thank you.